we all have biases, we all have triggers, we all have pain points in our life. And if we are not sharing how things are impacting us, we could greatly impact those families with our triggers, our biases. Like, what if I had OCD and I went into this family of the mom was telling me that she had it, that my experiences are going to cloud my advice or coaching with her. Welcome to Tune In, Discovering Your Authentic Self. That might be the last time that I say that phrase. I have been thinking about how to evolve this podcast for a long time. In fact, I've taken breaks before and I keep coming back to it. And during the last 3 years of my life, I have been highly focused on healing myself, relationships, learning about attachment theory, learning about my wounds, and taking some responsibility for things that have failed in my marriage. And I always come to this point where I feel like I have almost like two lives, right? I have my career, which is a physical therapist, and then I have this passion on the side, which is learning about emotions and helping people with their emotions and just learning who you are at your essence and peeling away all those layers of pain and programming that we have added on in order to keep ourselves safe. And I, when you're a single mom, when income is super important, you focus on the job. And so the podcast, the coaching has always kind of taken a back seat, and it's like a hobby for me. But I love doing this. It's like creative outlet for me. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and I just hadn't figured out how to meld the two until today. And I was on my way into the grocery store and I just had this like intuitive hit that I'm going to evolve it into what I am getting certified in now. So, but let me backtrack for a little bit. So I've been mostly an adult physical therapist or physical therapist for adults most of my career, like 22 out of the 27 years that I've been in physical therapy. I recently made a big switch last year to go back into pediatrics, and I do early intervention, which means that I am with babies 0 to 3 years old max. And I love it. Most of my caseload is under one, and it's awesome. I've always wanted to like be a NICU cuddler or foster, and now I have that, and that's my job. So I feel super blessed that I was able to find that and have the courage to step into it and do it. And what I quickly noticed when doing this job, so as a physical therapist, yes, I do gross motor things, but I'm also like primarily a coach. So what that means is I am there to help with the families and problem solve and just be there to help them get their children to do what they need to do, but not just do the exercises with them, like problem solve, like why are they not doing this? What does your day look like? And you're really like an emotional support for that family member, right? Or the entire family, honestly. And so I quickly noticed getting into it that trauma deeply impacts the family unit. And most families are not even aware how that is impacting it. So let me give you an example. So if you have anxiety, high anxiety, maybe even OCD, that baby is going to feel that, and it's going to show up in some way, shape, or form in that baby's life. And then as the child grows, if the parent doesn't heal it, if the parent isn't aware of it, if the baby is absorbing all of that, right? And so, yes, the baby might not be crawling, but there might be reasons why, not just gross motor, not just something neurologically going on, or walking. Let's take, for example, I've had a couple kids recently. Now they're almost 2 that are not walking, and the parents want them so badly to be walking. I get it. I understand. You show up to a birthday party, your child is 2, they're not walking. Everyone's like, why is your child not walking? Which we shouldn't really care what other people think, but that's what ends up happening. And then you feel, what's the right word I'm thinking of? You just feel self-conscious, right? That your child isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So what ends up happening is that child is feeling that anxiety of the parent wanting them to walk, or the grandparent, whatever it is. And sometimes like they're smart enough to feel that energy, and they just shut down because they don't want to do what you want them to do, right? I mean, it doesn't really change as they get older. So I noticed that this trauma and these things were deeply impacting families. And so I reached out to the program manager at my company and I was like, hey, I want to get trauma informed. I want to understand more how this is impacting. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. Because I showed her a course I wanted to take. Well, she wrote me back in an email and says, hey, this just came. What about this? And it was called Infant Family Mental Health. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like infant mental health, like how does an infant have mental health issues? And then as I started like looking into it, I was like, oh, this really makes a lot of sense. So a couple of my coworkers and I applied for a scholarship. We got the scholarship. Now, in order to get completely endorsed, you need to have 2 years of reflective consultation. I had no idea what that meant. I mean, I could kind of figure it out, but I had really no idea what it meant. And that I'm going to be starting on Friday, May 9th. And that is where I want to go with this podcast. I'm going to share stories and share how parents and family members, if they are not aware of their traumas, they are not aware of things that have impacted them, how that is going to get passed down to their children and what we can do about it. So let me explain or read the definition of reflective consultation. It's a relationship-based approach that helps professionals, particularly those working in infant and early childhood fields, explore their thoughts, feelings, and experiences related to their work with children and family. It's a process of reflection that allows professionals to understand how their own beliefs, values, and biases may influence their interactions with children and families, ultimately improving their ability to support these relationships. So we all have biases, we all have triggers, we all have pain points in our life. And if we are not sharing how things are impacting us, we could greatly impact those families with our triggers, our biases. Like, what if I had OCD and I went into this family of the mom was telling me that she had it, that my experiences are going to cloud my advice or coaching with her. So it's like a third party way for me to explain what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, and that person to hold that safe space for me. So that's what I start this week, and I will go through that once a month for 2 years, and then on the other end, be endorsed or certified in that. So in a nutshell, I will be able to combine my hobby and passion of podcasting, coaching with my profession. And then I just feel like I'm just going to be in more alignment. I feel like the energy will all be the same. I'm not divided. I'm not trying to do stuff for the podcast in between clients, or I'm not taking away from my job by doing more podcasting stuff. It all will be related. And so I'm feeling really excited that I came to that conclusion. And it just feels like this sense of peace and just alignment, and it feels right. So I have found my authentic self. I am not perfect. I have a ton of flaws that I still need to work on, but I'm okay with that. And I know how to continue to do the work. And I will always support people in my life that want to be real and want to be authentic and want to work on their own wounds and just be that safe space for them as much as I can be. It has been an amazing journey and I wouldn't change it for the world. And it got me to this point. So therefore, I can only be happy. Peace out.